Look at that. We're on TV. Hey, I'm Jay Skinner, and you're getting the pre-show of the Buyers and Sellers Show. So glad you're here. If you see me walking down the street and I start to cry each time we meet, walk on by, walk on by. Make believe now you don't see the tears that make me grieve and cry, because each time I see you, I break down and cry. And we're live. Hey, everybody, I'm Jay Skinner, and you're on the Buyers and Sellers Show. Today, we've got a special day. Many of you people are coming on, getting on board, and checking it out. And we have someone that's very special. And you know, I'm going to bring her out here, Jessie Lizak. Welcome to the Buyers and Sellers Show. There we go. I got to unmute you. There we go.
Thank you so much for having me here, Jay.
You're welcome. Good to see you. Jessie is special to me because we got introduced to somebody else out there on the internet, and I saw her on a show and I saw her posts, and I said, this lady really is in touch with a lot of things. So that's why she's here right now.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. And I loved that little jam you had on the piano. Hopefully the timing wasn't off, but I was doing some background duetting for you.
Oh, no, it was great. Thank you very much. I was like, I know you're a player too, and we have some fun. We're going to get into that. Boy, look at that. People are calling scam likely.
Oh, you're getting pitch slapped.
I'm getting pitch slapped. And before we get into this topic a little bit more, I want everybody to understand some of the depth of Jessie Lizak. And so I'm going to click right here, and what I'm showing is this is her LinkedIn profile write-up. And if you could just hit each one of these little things and talk a little bit about who you are and what you do, that would be awesome.
Oh, I would love to. Well, thank you so much. I'm normally the host of a show, so it's always fun to be the guest. So thanks so much again. I am Jessie Lizak, the founder, and I have Chief Everything listed at Reveting, a new LLC that I've opened. And I'm also a fractional CMO for BDEX, which, Jay, thanks for listing over here. BDEX is a data exchange platform, and we have a new app called OmniIQ. I call it new. It's been out for a year, but you can upload your CSV list of your first-party customer data, which I'll talk about here in this other section. But essentially, your first-party customer data, it's your data. It's your customer data. So you want to make sure that you have quality data, and then that you're using that data not only for sales, so that you're not like pitch slapping, like we'll be getting into. You want to reach out to the right person with the right message at the right time. And then you want to use that data to find your next ideal customer. So if you take a list of your existing customers, you can use AI and machine learning to find your next customer. So, that's what we do at OmniIQ is you can upload a list of your customers and then match that to our database to go find more customers just like those. But at Reveting, I help people with their LinkedIn. So it's a done-for-you LinkedIn service that will help you grow your personal brand. Because as we all know, people connect with people, not brands. And so it's especially important for leaders to make sure that they're putting themselves out there. And yes, you want to make sure that people understand your business and the value that you provide, as well as making sure that they're problem informed, which is where I think we all can do a little better, is making sure our audience is more problem informed, because we all want to educate them on so much. But yeah, with Whiskey Wednesday and Reveting, we want to help bring people to LinkedIn to get them more engaged, because everybody's lurking on here. There's probably people watching right now not commenting. But if you're here, like, drop a comment and let us know. Also, like, that's the best thing you can do for your LinkedIn account, is go comment on other people's posts in your ICP. So there really are strategic ways, and that's what I love about Reveting and being able to
Okay,
help.
hold on a second. Commenting on other people's posts in their ICP. What's an ICP?
Oh, thanks for catching me there. Your ideal customer profile.
Ooh.
So yeah, the list of people
Like the
that you're pitch
persona,
slapping.
stuff like that. Sometimes they talk about that. What your that template is for the ideal customer. ICP. Good. Okay, great. Look, we got a comment. This is live from Turkey.
Hey, Tanner.
Tanner, good to see you. Say hi, Jessie and Jay. So excited to see your show today. And Tanner and I are actually working together on bringing his business, his company, to America, and it's
Nice.
already open. And I'm working with him to help grow that. So cool, Tanner. Thank you for coming.
Congratulations, Tanner.
So, as we talk about things here, a number of people have gotten this idea. And before you get into more conversation about being a pitch slapper, I want everybody to see something fun that that Jessie did, and I caught it through a reposting in LinkedIn, might have been some Facebook there, certainly on TikTok. She was out there with this, and I saw this and I said, now this is fun. Everybody, let's take a look at what Jessie
What
did
did I
here.
do? I know that you stole my cookies and you spammed my inbox and you pitch slapped me. I know that you said TGM, but that won't convince me to reply to you. I hate to come off so direct and female, but that couldn't hold it. I couldn't wait. I hate to come off so direct and female, but I couldn't wait. I couldn't hold that. Never mind, I'll never die from you. I hope you can admit that you hate your job too.
Oh my gosh, that was great. Jessie Lizak, Connor Piano.
Thank you, Jay.
So that is like pitch slapping. I don't know, where did that come from? I just never heard about it.
I don't really know where it came from either. I'll be honest, it came from somewhere on the internet. I think I saw it on LinkedIn myself, but I can't remember who was the first person who posted it. But then I was getting inspired to play the piano and post on LinkedIn. And I'm like, how do I make this so that it's relevant to LinkedIn and
Mhm.
not just like, sing Adele? And so, yeah, I just made it about pitch slapping, because that's what is so cliche about LinkedIn is people get involved on LinkedIn. They want to engage on LinkedIn. They want to sell on LinkedIn, and they just start sending DMs to people that they don't know, and trying to sell to them. And that's really, the inspiration behind it all.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's very appropriate. By will say, okay, Chalar. That's pronounced Chalar Kirby's, and he works with Tanner in Turkey, and Chalar is doing all the marketing. And this
Oh,
guy is like
nice.
he's like in high school, but he's like a graduate marketing guy with the web and all the digital marketing. He's learning all this stuff. He's so smart, and he's really added a lot to his dad's business. So good to have you there, Chalar.
Hello, hello.
So as we're talking about the pitch slapping, one of the things I wanted to show is an example of one of the pitch slaps that's come my way. Let's see if I can show it up here on the screen. Pitch slapping. This
Ooh,
one right here.
ooh, some senior BDR. Oh boy.
Yeah, it's like you can see I crossed out his
Coca-Cola.
picture and stuff, but senior business development manager at Coca-Cola. I don't even think that's true. The and then the other thing is like I probably got this message or a version of this from 10 other people. Hi Jay, notice you already have a remarkable job history and might be seeking the next opportunity. Blah 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 blah. Sometimes they do a first round, which is, oh, looks like we have some things in common. We got some blah, blah, blah. You want to connect here? Oh, yeah, sure. And I do. And then they come right back and they hit me with something like this.
And you got pitch
Wow,
slapped in the face.
in the face. And what it's like, what would be the best phone number and email to reach you? It's like, I don't even know you. I just, what are we doing here? Uh, what are your
Wouldn't it,
thoughts about this? Talk to me. What's going on here?
Jay, wouldn't it have been better if that man would have, just started engaging with your content, just started liking your posts, and maybe not talking about his company at all, but talking about the things that you're putting out there to take a real interest in who you are as a person? Wouldn't that have caught your attention in a much more positive way?
Absolutely. Yeah, to show some interest in me and see if there's some sort of connection,
Yeah.
some sort of overlap, some sort of reason why. I mean, he's a total stranger to me, and it's like pitch slap.
But
Boom.
yet you are able to connect with strangers. I mean, you connected with me. It looks like you're working with people on the other side of the world who you're able to connect with. So it's not that you're not open to connecting with people. It's just that this approach doesn't work and you're not alone. Most people don't like to be pitch slapped or offered or be told about your business when they first meet you.
Exactly. It's like that's right. And by the way, Chalar says that was a great explanation. So way to go. Good. Um, the we all do business with people we know and like,
That's right.
and that like us. It's like where's one of my where's my best customer? I met him on an airplane on the way to go find more customers. It's like I was on an airplane to go find more customers to an event. And by the time I landed, I told him, I said, well, I can just turn around and go back to Indianapolis because we just accomplished right here, side by side across the aisle what I came here to do.
Oh, that's
And
beautiful.
because we connected, it was great. We know we can be good friends, and it looked like I could help them, which I am doing. It was really cool. So, yep. And let's see, and Chalar's telling, yep, I'm the guy who manages marketing solutions for Extreme Converting. Yep, that's the name of their company, extremeconverting.com. Way to go, Chalar.
Yeah, that's amazing. And what a great job he's doing being present and active on LinkedIn because I would have had no idea what that company was. I'd never heard of it. If he, as a human, hadn't come here and, like if it would have been a company page, that would have looked like an ad. And I probably, might not even have read it. So
Yes.
it's really important that, people are engaging and acting as themselves. But just like in regular human everyday life, we're not like pitch slapping people to, come over to our house and have dinner, or we're not pitch slapping them to marry us, like when we first meet them. So why would we pitch slap them and ask them to do business with us?
Well, and those that are pitch slapping people to get married, come over to dinner, or do other things are generally learning the hard way that is not a good approach.
Yeah, I mean,
You
that
might
would be
get really
a use
slapped.
case.
It's a pitch they get it slapped. Oh my gosh. It's like you understand that what I try to teach other people, it's like it seems like a small group of us that folks just want to be talked to like normal folks. And
Yeah.
if there's something, it's like I am immediately open when I meet someone to, if there's a way for us to do some business, have some relationship, do something, sure, let's do it. I think you are too. But don't if you jump right in, start trying to sell me on something, it's like this is not going to be a good relationship.
Yes. You're
And
exactly right.
I get kind of turned off. I get very. I'm not a cynic. I mean, how do you keep from getting cynical? Because you're like famous and a lot of things are happening. And I can see on LinkedIn with your following, with the people you deal with, lots of stuff, and you got a lot of things going on. How do you keep from getting cynical, Jessie? Because you're not a cynical person.
I
You're
I
very
I
positive.
mean, I'm human, you know, all humans are imperfect, so I have a lot of imperfections, and I do get cynical. I get cynical of people who are not willing to change. I
Mhm.
think there are people, a lot of people, especially in B2B, business to business, who are trying to do things the old way, use new technology to do things, and I don't even think like, I say the old way, but like you look at marketing, material from Ogilvy or even just like from like previous centuries, and none of it really says, pitch slap, So like, I don't know if any of these techniques were ever really the best techniques because humans have always been humans. And, we've always had better relationships with people who've been able to close a trust gap with us, especially ahead of time, or a brand who's been able to close that trust gap with us ahead of time. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I don't want to blame just the old way, but I do get cynical of people who don't want to change and try to do things. I would say it's the harder way because of course it's going to take a lot more effort for you to get on LinkedIn and start finding who you think your ideal customers are there, engaging with their content in a meaningful way and leaving comments that, are not necessarily selling. Like that's not going to have obviously an immediate sale. And so maybe that's where, we get into a lot of these problems, especially in B2B, is because salespeople get pressure to have these short-term goals. And so then they don't really have time to build relationships. They're just trying to pitch slap and close a deal.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not trying to criticize them. I think it's not just the person. I think it's the company, it's the entire approach. But yeah, what do you think,
What they've
Jay?
been taught. Well, I think you're right. And um, the I wrote one to one of these people. I replied to them one time. I said, "You don't even know what you're doing to me is called pitch slapping." And I got the same email from about 6 other people. You must have gone to the same seminar in the last 2 months. I don't know what, but this isn't working, and it's not going to work for you. Uh, After a while, there's just so many of them. I just have to hit delete. I don't know this person or
I
whatever.
know.
And I don't like to be that way. So that's the cynical side that I don't want to have. But at the same time, people will run all over you if
Oh,
you
really
don't
well.
have boundaries.
Oh, the amen to that, Jay. That's one thing I've learned in the last few weeks, especially this last week. This week has been my first week not being an employee and being on fully on my own. And so yeah, my time has just been kind of like trying to scatter in so many different places because I wanted to do so much more now that I have a little more time.
Hmm.
And people they expect that you're going to do certain things, and bless their heart, a lot of people want to help you. A lot of people want to help me find guests or help me find sponsors and that's great. And I obviously encourage that, but then that doesn't mean that I'm then obligated to do it your way. And so
Amen.
mhm,
I'm sorry. It's just like this is so true. And it's like people, anybody, I know there's a bunch of people watching, always are, because we're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, just like you are, how you take advantage of all that, put it all out there. Let's make sure everybody can catch it. And so you can't even really tell how many people are on the live exactly, but those of you that are there, I can get an amen, somebody. And feel
Amen.
free to, thank you, good. Feel free to comment in there if you get a revelation here. But Jessie is preaching to the choir when we're talking about this, and this audience, our audience is that way. But if you happen to be someone that's out there pitch slapping or not dealing with people in a human fashion, then listen to this and feel free to contact me or Jessie or say, okay, great. I don't get it. They taught me to do it like this. It's not really working. How can I be more successful? Well, if you've got a product that's worth having, you can be successful. It's just, you may be killing yourself after you say the first sentence. Work on it. Think about it.
Absolutely. I would say step one, find out, know your audience. Well, because if you don't know who your audience is, like that, there's a problem. If you know who your audience is, that's step one. Step two, find them on LinkedIn. Find who are the top 5 people that you want to go after and find them on LinkedIn. Start liking and commenting on their stuff in a meaningful way. Ask them thoughtful questions and make them feel special. Okay. Step 3 is then start figuring out who you are and what can you talk about? What is your skill? What is it that you're selling to them? And you need to figure out what are your 3 content pillars. Ideally, something that's personal about you, and then some sort of thing that you can educate others on, value, and then also educating on pain points. And then you want to start posting, because once you start engaging with people, you're going to start appearing in their feed and ideally connecting with them. So once you start getting people to connect with you, then you want to start putting out content. You have those 3 content pillars that you've been building. You've been consuming other people's content. So at this point, it just gets down to writing. And you don't want to, you want to have content. If it's on LinkedIn, make sure that you're having some actual text in your post. Don't tag too many people. That can look spammy to the algorithm. Include images, include videos. You want to try all sorts of different things. Don't be surprised when your selfies have high impressions and your videos have low impressions. Typically, videos will have lower impressions, but don't let that stop you, because remember, quality over quantity. And it doesn't matter if you're not getting a whole bunch of engagement. And this is where a lot of people will end. They'll be like, okay, I'm posting and nothing's happening. Keep going and keep commenting on other people's posts. And before you post, go comment on 5 other people's things before you put anything out there. And you have to remember, it's all about giving. You got to give without expecting anything in return. It took me more than a year to get to this point. So it was 2021, I think, end of 2021 when I started posting consistently. And then it was March of 2022, end of February, where I started going live every week. And, just last week we did a live, or this past Wednesday, and there were 400 some comments. I don't know. I think maybe 300 some comments, 400 some likes. I can't remember, but that's about the average. And it didn't used to be that way. It takes time and it takes consistency. So yeah, you do have to stay in front of them.
Okay. And I have to add this, because when you said to give without expecting anything in return, there's a word for that.
Give without
agape.
Agape. Okay.
Agape. That's God's kind of love.
Okay.
That's what that is. When you said that, it's like, oh my gosh, this is really deep. And I want everyone to understand there's a spiritual element to this that will cause things to happen to you as you cast your bread out on the water. Things will come back. Some people call it karma, whatever they're going to call it. But you start putting that good stuff out there, and it's interesting and it's true in the world. Great things come back.
Yeah.
Always. So Jessie, you talked about communication, and let's get technical again and talk about AI text generation, Chat GPT, and OpenAI.com. Those of you listed are saying, good grief, what kind of a question is that? But I'm asking the lady that can actually talk about that.
Well, thank you. I feel like everybody can talk about it because it's so easy. You just get on there and you can start using it. I'm obsessed with it. I won't lie. Like, I love technology. I always have. And so, I'm all about training my Chat GPT to give me, certain bits of information or inspiration when I need it. But yeah, technology, it's only a tool. And we just talked about this on deconstructing data yesterday. And so humans, we've always used tools, right? Like that's what we do. And that's all AI and machine learning are their tools. So you need to make sure that you're telling it to do the right things. You're giving it the right information, but also, you're reading it and you're improving it as a human as well.
Yes. And just when people, if there's anybody listening here and says, "Oh my gosh, how do you do that? What's going on?" Well, this is the basic way to go there. And so you can go there and you can try it out and you can play with it. And then there's some services already. I use a video marketing email program called dubb.com, and they've already incorporated a window on the dashboard. If you're a subscriber to Dubb, it probably works for the free guys as well as the paid ones, where it's directly linked into Chat GPT, so people can type in questions and do everything, and it flows right in, and it's very cool. So it's becoming services that people are offering, and it's like they're tapping into that. The one big caveat is the text that you get out of it, don't copy and paste into your blogs and websites and everything else. Try to make it a piece of what you put in there, but add some words, add some thoughts, make it yours, just so you don't find yourself getting accidentally penalized by Google. Are you finding the same thing out?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
And, another thing with all of this too is the search engines are picking up on it. So I made a post about it this week. So it'll be interesting to see, how Microsoft and Google and, how the big tech giants are going to be taking this technology to the next level, just in terms of their friendly competition or maybe unfriendly competition. I don't know. But it sounds like Bing is taking the lead on it. So I'm definitely interested in that.
So Bing, okay, good, because I'm not a Bing guy. But you're
They
saying
have
go
a
over to
small
Bing
market
and
share.
pardon me?
They have a small market share.
Yeah, but you're saying if I go over to Bing, I'm going to find some AI kind of stuff that might be fun to play with. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, so you should definitely check out all the different browsers and be updating them and stay up to date with them because yeah, the sky's the limit now. There's going to be so much change and um I'm just excited about it. We think about and I get inspired by it. I think some people look at it and I very few people at least and they don't like it or like they're scared by it. I think again we just have to think of it as a tool and let it optimize our lives. And when we can think about it like that, it gets very exciting. And that's what's exciting about what we do at BDEX too, is because it's really the similar concept, except you're taking a list of your best customers, you're uploading it, you're understanding who they are from like 5,000 different data, segments. So like for free, you can understand basically a distribution of their age, gender, and household income. Those are the three that you get for free in OmniIQ. But then just think of all those other things that you can really figure out who they are from a human standpoint, and then go and find more humans with machine learning who are just like them. And so, I think that AI and machine learning is extremely exciting. And what you're able to do when you use these tools to your advantage as a human, well, at least in the way that I'm describing, for marketers, you're able to improve your return on ad spend, which is extremely important right now. Everybody's trying to tighten up their marketing budgets, tighten up their ad budgets. Use these technologies. Yes, Chat GPT, I'm a big fan of it. I don't think you should be cutting your companies off from it by any means.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's a tool. Let them use it, but let them use AI for other things too, like their ad targeting. And there's so many other ways that this technology can be used. And I'm excited, to see where it all goes.
Okay, next one, cookies. Just we're hitting a lot of things here. This is like the smorgasbord, but having Jessie here, I just have to hit all these topics. Cookies. It's not what we eat. It's people that have been around understand that your browsers will collect cookies and then people will analyze that and try to figure out more about you. But that is coming to an end for people surreptitiously getting information about you. And now that it's the cookieless generation, you've been ahead of that curve. Would you talk a little bit about that, please?
Sure. So yeah, I as a joke brought some cookies, but it's not, not cookies like you're thinking of chocolate chip cookies. It's what I'm referring to are third party browser cookies, and third party cookies are being deprecated. They have been deprecated by many browsers, but Google continues to delay their cookie deprecation, which basically, means, and really the why I push first party data so much is primarily because of that. Marketers and advertisers need to start transitioning their advertising plans, and many have, several have not. And they're still advertising based on browser data. And so based on, when people are clicking on your website, others' websites. So like we need to start looking at who are our actual customers, and let's go find more people like those actual customers. Because once Google deprecates cookies, a lot of people, a lot of advertisers, their whole programs, it's just going to go defunct. And so it's funny because when I started at BDEX, they said something, Michael Aronov, the co-founder, he said something really funny. It was funny to me because I just never heard anyone say it so frankly. He's like, people should use first party data because it's better anyway. And it's like, well, yeah, that's so true.
Yeah,
like you should be like advertising to like your customers and like the people who want to give you their data, but then also using it to better understand who else you may want to be reaching out to. So, third party data it's collected the same as first and second party data. Researchers use surveys, interviews, feedback forms to gather information about large audiences. So like second party data, organizations can purchase this information for their own use. So I don't really ever really get into second party data, but another difference that lies in that much third party research is conducted on random sample sizes. So often by anyone that is willing to fill out a form, which is why, the results don't directly come from your customers. So it yields more participant responses, but it's not always useful for your business. Cookies are deprecating. You should eat these cookies.
And the other cookies are going away for just in those right now. When we get on a website, there's always a thing that says, do you want to accept their cookie policy and that sort of thing? And this is part of the path towards the deprecation or elimination of the use of cookies in people doing targeted marketing, where all of a sudden ads that are specific to where you've been browsing are popping up based upon your cookies. That's going away. Is that what I'm hearing?
Exactly.
Okay. And then the first party data is like BDEX, generating first party data that surrounds the existing customer base that you have, so that you can enrich your first party data and better market to your, what was that?
ICP, your ideal customer profile.
Your ideal customer profile, your ICP.
Yes. Your first party data is your data. It's your customer data that they give you and they trust you with.
That's good. Everybody, I know there's people on here right now and that'll be watching the replays that will say, she's pretty smart. It's like, yeah, listen, and this is just the icing on the cake. This is just the tip of the iceberg. And I want to encourage you to email her at Jessie at Reveting, REVETING.com. And then you get on LinkedIn and you follow Whiskey WinsDay, WINSDAY. And this is her regular internet show. And I think you call it a podcast too. I'm going to have to adopt the word podcast. I never call it podcast. I call this my internet show.
Well, this is technically a live broadcast. A podcast to me is like on Spotify or, where it's only an audio. So Whiskey Wednesday is technically not a podcast, but deconstructing data, we take the live broadcast and then we use the audio file and upload it into podcasts.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And great. And people will say, Jay, you do a podcast every Friday. After a while, I just say, yep.
Yeah, I know.
It's like the word. But in my mind, this is like more like a TV show or a TV talk show. It was like, that's what's You want to think what's going through my head when I'm doing a buyers and sellers show. That's what that is.
It's like a Friday morning talk show with Jay. Little
yeah,
piano.
that's it. And we do like this. Yeah, here we are. You know, I press the buttons. We're having fun. Oh yeah. Anyway, so nice to have you, Jessie. We hit a lot of stuff. I'm so happy that you came. Do you have any final thing that you want to share with the people before you go back to the green room and eat more of the fruit?
No, just thank you so much, Jay, for having me on your show. Thank you for all the homework and research and that you were finding all these materials on your own beforehand. So I really appreciate all the effort that you put into it. So it was really a pleasure being on here. Thank you so much.
Awesome. We'll see you later. I'll be back in a minute. Talk to you later. And everybody, this has been the Buyers and Sellers Show. Looks like I got one comment that jumped in here. And Sharon says, I'll be watching the replay. I overstepped. Glad you're here, Sharon. Really appreciate you being here live too. Anyway, everyone, same time, same channel next week. As you know, you can go to my website and just click on the tab and you'll find the whole list of shows from the last 2 years. And we continue to do this without stop every Friday morning at 10:35 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes I have guests, like most of the time, really I don't. And we riff on different topics, and I hope it's beneficial to you when we do all of this. Here to help you do better and be more successful. So thank you for coming. See you next time, and away we go. See you next week. Thanks for coming.